I'm dying just because of how bad this was. Let's get into some cringe. So, I have been home for exactly one day by myself because my classes have been totally canceled in any physical form, and it's all going to be online starting in like 2 weeks. But I'm already completely bored, and I'm not in that mindset. Oh, there was. I'm not sure if that was lit or not. Um, that was an orb floating across the screen. I do know that with my cat, there's an assload of lint around the house at any given time. So my first thought is that is not anyone coming to say hi to me. But if it is, hello. Anyways, what I was saying is I am bored out of my mind. And I also am not in that mindset to be on vacation and like getting stuff done. Because right now I'm in that mindset of, oh, I've been going to class and to work. I'm just like, any time that is not either at class or at work or driving, I'm like on social media all the time, on YouTube all the time, just like trying to catch up. Whatever I do in between, it's hard for me to transition into getting work done at home. So that could take a couple days, maybe a week or two, but I'll try to get there. I also did nothing with my hair today, and I'm just going full poof. I don't really give a shit. I've been getting into Kiss lately, and Eric Carr, the fluffiest angel of all time, he had hair kind of like mine, only his was way bigger. So I'm just gonna own it, I guess, for now, even though I still kind of look like a witch that lives in the woods. Um, but let's get into the cringe. I decided I wanted to do something relatively entertaining, and I wanted to actually talk to someone, and someone, I mean the camera, but it feels like socializing, and that's the important part. If you guys have been following my Instagram, you might have seen a post that I made like over the summer. I think it was sometime in August, where I had finally found. Oh wait, no, maybe it was sometime over the summer, but I think it was June or July. But anyways, or maybe it was August. Fuck, I don't remember. But anyways, there was a lot of old notebooks and some sketchbooks that were very, very important to me. It was me deciding that I wanted to get serious about being creative and writing and drawing. And it was all totally fan fiction and like, ship art. I mean, I was like 13, 14 years old at the time. So it was important to me. It was something I really enjoyed doing, and it sparked my interest in writing and being creative. And that led me to what I wanted to do. So it's incredibly cringe because I was incredibly young, but it's hella entertaining. And I hadn't seen that stuff since April of 2013. That was about 6 years. And I've gone through the notebooks and read them over, and they were cringe. They were very cringe. I actually made a list so that I could do a drinking game with how cringe they are, like reading them over and like every time this happens, take a shot. Yeah, I'm 21 now, I can do that. One thing I forgot to mention here that I was going to mention here before I got derailed by the thought of doing a drinking game with my own fan fiction, reading over my old stuff, it was kind of charming in a way. Like some of the drawings that you're about to see, you can tell that I was really passionate about what I was doing, even though I wasn't good at it at all. And there were things that I did really well. Like, I think character development, I did really well. I also learned a lot from it. Like, I could look back and be like, oh, if I was writing this today, I would edit it like this way, this way, this way. Like, knowing exactly what I did wrong. And it's really cool to see how I developed. So, I don't hate it for that reason. I think it's really cool to look back, actually. There might be a spider on my ceiling. I'm gonna go tend to that. But yeah, just wanted to put it out there that it was kind of cool to read it over. And it's not as bad as the drawings are. The drawings are way worse. the one thing I didn't look through yet was the drawings. And let me just tell you, this is what we're working with, okay? That's what greeted me when I pulled it out of the book bag today. Yeah. And now it's staring at me because I flipped it over. Anyways, I am stalling. There is one more thing that I should mention before I actually get into it. I'm not going to mention what the account was, or what the account name was, but I used to have a DeviantArt, and I was very active on it. So, if you're one of the OGs, and you're watching this, and you recognize my art, I am so sorry. That is a blast from the past. That should stay in the past. And I deleted a lot of that stuff from the account, but I haven't deleted the account yet, which is why I'm not going to mention it. Because it's like an archive of my old work and like the way that I grew up through art. But also, it's horrible and cringe and I don't want it to exist. So if there's a way that I can like private it, but not actually delete anything so that I can go back and access it, I'm talking too fast, I can't catch up. But if there's a way that I can go back and access it, I want to do that. But I don't know if that's an option, and I haven't actually looked into it. Literally the last time I logged on, I had like a few thousand notifications. Yeah. It gives me anxiety just like thinking about that, like, oh my god, I had so many. And I used to like reply to every comment. I used to like thank everyone for the likes. I was so polite. I was learning. Anyways, no more stalling. Okay, I think this big one in the middle was the first one. See, what happens when I let my hair roam free is that it will itch my face. Oh, Lord. What am I doing? So, there's this half sketchbook, and there's a lot of, like, just totally free roaming pages behind it, so I'm gonna take those off and just go through the actual sketchbook first. There's no back to this, by the way. It's literally just, this was the back cover, and I think the front got ripped off somehow, so I was like, this is the front now. There's some doodles on it that are very, very, very old. With my old handwriting, my handwriting did evolve. It used to be this really weird hybrid of cursive and printing, but now it's just cursive, and it's like a cipher. No one can really translate it except for me most of the time. I was very into puns at the time, so I couldn't just write front on it. I had to add eminence front to show that I was into the Who. Yeah. And of course I wrote Save the Texas Prairie Chicken on it, and Love, Peace, and Beatles Forever, because I was a super fucking hippie back then. And I guess I painted on that. And then there's a few signatures that we're gonna pretend aren't there. Oh, God. Why am I doing this? I thought this was a good idea until I saw this, okay? I'm throwing myself under the bus. So if you guys know me, I used to be very, very into the Monkees, and very into Mickey Dolenz, especially. And this one is titled The Monkees, the Gorgeous Mickey Dolenz. It's not a great drawing, but it's not a great drawing, but I mean, this was like just when I had literally just started drawing, like because I wanted to. So this was the first time that I'm like actually taking it seriously and trying to like evolve. So it is going to evolve a little throughout the process of this video. Yeah, this was kind of the baseline where we were starting at, and I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't very good at like head shapes. Hair was pretty blocky, and the eyes weren't great either. The noses were just sort of L's. Oh, and I did this cheat thing that I still totally do to get out of drawing hands, even though they're not the worst things for me to draw, but I always fuck them up anyway. But I did this cheat thing where you put them in the pockets. Yeah, I thought I was clever. Oh, and I couldn't really stay in the lines. Interesting, there's not a date on this. I got into this habit where I would put a date on everything that I drew, like somewhere near the bottom, like really small. But I don't see one on there. This isn't really art. This is just me being an idiot and also like testing out some markers, I guess. I don't know, I guess I was trying to find a good color. I guess I tried to draw the Monkees logo and failed because I've never been good at drawing guitars. I've tried. Some guitars I've drawn okay, but most of them I struggle a lot. Okay, we have Peter Tork. This one is not the worst thing ever. Like, it's kind of cute in like an I tried kind of way. Like, objectively, it's not a mess. Like, if you look at it, that you could believe that a 12-year-old did that. And you could believe that she was trying her best, even though she wasn't that great of an artist. Like, that wasn't so bad. Oh, here's Mike. I got a little cute with this one and put a pom-pom over Mike just because of his hat. The head to body ratio was not very good. I gave him a tiny, tiny, tiny head. It's not that bad. It like the same thing with the Peter one. I think this is actually better than the Peter one. And more cheating. I think I did that on Peter as well. That was not so bad. Oh god. Why did I think this was such a meme? I mean, it is kind of a meme if you're in the Monkees fandom, but I did the fucking Save the Texas Furry Chicken again. But then I added to it. I drew a fucking thing. And yeah, we're gonna pretend like that didn't exist. Somehow, for some reason, I dog-eared the page. I dog-eared a lot of pages in this. There isn't that many pages in this. Oh god. So, you can tell by my reactions, this is not gonna be a great one. So, a little context. I first discovered the concept of deviant art through, like, YouTube. I guess I was just, like, really into, like, tribute videos where people, like, do, like, a slideshow of pictures with, like, a song playing over it. I don't know why. I don't like them now. There was one thing. I think it was, like, Paul McCartney or something. I don't know. Like, there were a couple edits that I saw, and there was, like, Beatles art in them, and I thought it looked really cool, and I was like, hey, where did this art come from? And the uploader or whatever was like, oh yeah, this was an account on DeviantArt. And I went and checked it out, and I was like, hey, their art is really good. And I still think it's awesome, by the way. It was a really unique style. It was an account called McCartney Crazy, and I remember that because I wrote it down. And I tried to draw to emulate that person's style. So that was a very early influence on me. And that phase didn't really last long, even though I, like, always liked their art. So, yeah, I didn't copy them forever. But I guess, like, some of like, the art where I tried to, like, draw like them kind of influenced me really early on, in a way. I think the frog was there because it was, like, there was an episode of the Beatles cartoon where Ringo had a frog named Bartholomew. I think that's what I was going for. I fucking love Bartholomew. He was great. Oh god. It's like every other drawing elicits a response from me. I haven't looked at these fucking things in like 6 years, okay? I'm just gonna show this. I guess I was trying to be funny. I don't know. Oh god. Can we just pretend this never happened? Oh my god. You can tell where I started on this page. This was actually based off of something that I wrote, which was based off of something that I read online. So there was, like, this one fanfiction website that was actually really good. I think it was called Enola's Realm. I'll link it in the description because I actually kind of liked it. I still like it, and it was responsible for me watching Starsky and Hutch, but we're not going to tell that to anyone. There was, like, a fic on that was... There was, like, a series where like they all got superpowers, and I thought that would be really cool to write about. So I tried to do my own spin on that, and it totally sucked. I guess I did this really childish thing of like drawing a group of people, but like lined up. And of course, I put myself in there. You're gonna see a lot of that. Like, it's all downhill from here. Steep decline. It didn't start out good, but it's gonna get so much worse. If there's a way that I can obscure this. So you can tell, I started here. You see, like, the proportions are not great, but there was effort put in. And then I move over, it gets a little smaller. And then I move over, it gets real small. And then fucking, I lost any sense of proportion with this, okay? Fucking look at Davey. How bad is that? But it's interesting that I worked from right to left because I'm left-handed. If I were to work from left to right, I would completely smudge everything. It would get on my hand and it would totally ruin the drawing. Another thing is that I really struggled drawing faces back then, which I don't really struggle on now, but I would just erase and erase and erase so bad the paper would get really warped. And we're going to see that a lot. And obviously you can't really tell that much on camera, but... Oh, this one wasn't bad. This was also around this time I was super, super, super into Wings, Paul McCartney Wings, and I drew their logo. That's cute. That's the least cringe thing in this sketchbook. It gets worse. This is not the worst thing in the world, actually. It's not drawn very well, but probably going to be one of the least cringe things we'll see tonight. There's also, I don't know what I was going to put in this corner down here, but it's unfinished. But I drew 3 drummers from bands that I used to listen to a lot. You can see a poorly drawn Ringo. I'm trying to center this without actually being able to see the camera, so that's actually not a horrible drawing of Mickey, to be honest. And then Keith Moon was in there. I guess I gave him a special background because he's special. I don't know. Oh, one thing I would do a lot, like consistently for like years in my writing, I would always dot the heart, or dot the eyes with a heart, but only when writing the name Mickey. I was fucking stupid. Oh, this one was kind of cute. It was really, I don't know why I drew this tiny. That was like a running theme with me. I always drew things super fucking tiny. So I drew him setting up some dynamite with his drum, which he actually did, and it made Pete go deaf. You just heard the sound of my soul escaping from my body. I told you I was a hippie, okay? You fucking believe me now? If you didn't believe me before. I even put the Yellow Submarine in here. And the Hofner bass. Okay, I think this was Beatles inspired because that's a strawberry. Although I think that was still supposed to be Mickey, I don't know. This was like, it's not the worst. I tried. I don't like it, but I was fucking 12, so. Here again, I had no art skill, but I put effort into it. That was a kid, okay? Like, I don't know, I gotta cut myself some slack. Not much, but some. Ugh, I'm not gonna show this. Should I? I think I have to. I gotta throw myself under the bus. I feel like I'm trying to cleanse myself of all my sins. And there are more than I remembered. We're just gonna hold this far from the camera and move on quickly. This is really fucking terrible. And I immediately looking at it, within seconds I knew what it was from. So there's a scene in the movie Head where he's in a fucking desert and he's like dying of thirst as you would in a desert. And for some reason, I decided to draw myself as an angel. And I didn't actually finish it. Like, that's colored, that's not. Whatever. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. And that's all for this first one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move on to the loose leaf Renegades now. Because I'm trying to go in chronological order, but I haven't looked at any of this in a long time. So I'm going off of memory here. I don't even know which end is what. So there was like a meme online from like the fucking Lemon song from Led Zeppelin. And I was like, let me draw a meme. So I tried to draw Robert Plant. Oh, this is see-through. Here, that'll help. Yeah. I mean, arguably it's not a horrible Robert Plant, if you could ignore the cringe elements of it, of course. Oh, God. I'm just gonna quickly show this and move on. This is so bad. I didn't even remember this. Like, I have not seen these or thought about these in 6 or 7 years. Like, this was probably from 2012. This is so bad. How am I gonna get through this? But anyways, this is kind of a collage of cringe. So, that's all you get to see. It's bad. You don't want to see it up close. Oh, I think this is drawn for someone that I knew on DeviantArt. I had like a squad going, and it was really fun. Yeah, this was actually for one of my first internet friends ever. Even though I don't really like talk that much, it's still kind of cool to like keep up, you know? But anyways, this was Peter and Mike with, I think that was Lexi, I'm not sure. My memory is so bad. Oh god. This is another one of those cringe collages. So, yeah, we're not gonna linger on that. It's the only way to get through it with my dignity intact. Wait, I had dignity? John Entwistle during my Who phase. I quite like John Entwistle. That's not a good... I mean, from the neck down, it was good. See? But, like, I'm not feeling the head and face. I kind of drew his head shaped like a heart. I'm not mad at that, but I am mad at this. Oh, God. I'm not going to go through and explain every single one of this, even though if these were individual drawings, I could explain them. But we're just going to flash and move on. Just know that if you were staring at it in real life, you wouldn't want to be staring at it in real life. What's this? Do I want to know? No, I don't. Oh, I think this is based off of an episode. So, there was an episode, Monkeys at the Circus, and I was like, hey, why don't I draw myself as a circus assistant? Because that's a normal thing that teenagers like to do. Why did I do this? This one is kind of stupid. I don't really have an explanation for this, other than I guess I was kind of snowballing off of the fact that the drummer's name was Keith Moon, but I guess I decided to draw the Who as a solar system, and of course John Entwistle's a fucking black hole, because of course he is. It's not great, but clearly it's not eliciting a response from me like other ones have so far. This was clearly in a Who phase. What am I looking at here? Oh yeah, he's about to set up some dynamite, and I don't really know what Pete is doing. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. And I was still doing the tiny head thing. I hate that. I have learned now. I have rectified that. Okay, here's a break from all the cursed imagery. Just a nice Grush guitar. You know, that one's not bad. I put effort into that. And it shows. Here's another break from the cringe. Thankfully. This is Paul and Martha. I'm a big fan of Martha. Martha was great. Okay, this next one was, I think it was for like my Spanish class or something. But in high school I took Spanish, and I think I drew this for like fucking Dia de los Muertos or something. I got into the monkeys like right after Davey died. Like when I heard that he died, I was like, maybe I should get back into them. And that really sent me on a downward spiral. But yeah, this one's alright. And hey, there's a grade on the back, and I got 100. So I put effort in. It says Davy Jones le gusta cantar, which means he likes to sing. It was cute. I tried. I got 100 on it, so. Oh, this is steep decline. Actually, I want to set this one aside. Oh wait, I don't even know if this was like a part 2 to a drawing that I did, and I actually really liked it. And I think if I look back on it now, I would still think it was kind of cute. I don't really know where that is. I don't know if it would be in this pile. At one point it hung on the back of my door. I kind of want to show that first and then this, but I'm just going to show this first, and if it pops up, I will add it. I will tell you. Yeah, there's this fucking tablecloth poncho in me. Not very well drawn. This one is like that one drawing from earlier, only like amplified cringe. With color. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I fucking... Oh god. I printed this out from online, and I was gonna draw it. And I didn't. I drew one thing. It's you and the monkeys. And I drew a little bit of Mike. And a little bit of Mike actually looks kind of cute, if you can see up close. But like, oh god, I was so cringe. Okay, this is a half-finished drawing. Around this time, I was also very into the Mamas and the Papas. And I only maybe drew them like once or twice, but I only drew the Mamas. So there's Michelle and Cass. I mean, they kind of looked like that in real life, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Michelle had like literally, she was like a twig. I wish. This one's half finished, for good reason. I don't think it should have even been started, but we're just gonna move on. This one is exceptionally bad, but it's also very tiny. So if I do a flash real quick, it'll be harder to see. It involved a birthday cake. Oh god. Gets worse. I knew it was gonna progressively get worse, but I'm not gonna move closer to the camera. Okay, this one, it is cringe, but I put effort into this, and I remember being really proud of it. We're just gonna appreciate the fact that 13-year-old, actually, oh god, this was from 2013. By then I had started putting the date on things, but I was just about to turn 14. And we're just going to appreciate the fact that I used to be proud of this. And it's arguably not the worst thing that I've shown you just now. It was intended to be cute. I'm just going to leave it at cute. Because it's probably one of the only things that I will appreciate that I'm showing you tonight. This was based off of a song by Sting. If you guess it, I'm sorry. This was based off of one of my internet friends, like I mentioned. And, I don't know why it's so tiny. See how fucking tiny that is? So, around this time, I was also very into MASH. Really into MASH. I thought I was such a smartass into MASH. I'm just gonna not linger on that. This one, I thought I was being funny, okay? I was like drawing different styles of mustaches. You've got the Ant Whistle, Croce, as in Jim Croce, the Oats, which I kind of drew that the same as the Croce, the Harrison, and the Lane. The funny thing about the Lane is in Denny Lane had, I wouldn't call it a mustache. He kind of had like some patches right here, but it was really cringe, and I really fucking love Denny Lane. There are some bad puns in here. If you pause this, you might be able to read them, and if you want to read them, I'm sorry, I don't recommend it. But yeah, we're not gonna do that too long either. Also, I'm not going to apologize if you can't see any of these. Clearly, you don't want to. This was something trying to be cute and Christmassy, and it's really bad. At least I did it in time for Christmas. Like, this was me trying to do a portrait, but not being comfortable with drawing any details of faces whatsoever. This was supposed to be Denny Lane, and actually I want to hold it up with stuff behind it so it's not totally see-through, but I tried. It's not great. Okay, this next one isn't horrible. So it's, oh my god, I can see the one that's after this, and we're gonna get into that. But this one isn't bad. There's Peter Tork. That's an outfit he actually had, and it was actually iconic. This one was me trying to be funny, and it kind of was. Like, way back in the day, it kind of was. Not now, but back in the day. I also think it was, like, one of the best things I uploaded. It might still be on DeviantArt, actually. Don't look for it. But the Loch Ness Monster, and I gave him a little wool hat. I thought I was being clever. I put some effort into it. I colored it. I never had the ambition to color things. Back then I did, but not now. Oh. Back when I was young, this is gonna date me. Back when I was young, there was a show on Nickelodeon called Big Time Rush. And I used to kind of like it when it like first came out. And then I started getting into the Monkees, and I was like, oh, they're just a bad ripoff of the Monkees, because they kind of were. But I haven't seen it in maybe a decade or better, so I can't say that they are a bad ripoff of the Monkees. They could be a really good ripoff of the Monkees, for all I know. I drew them, but only because my cousin was really into them when she was really, really little. Like, she's 7 years younger than I am, so she was really little. But she was into them, so I drew them for her. I don't really know why I still have this and didn't give them to her, but it's probably for the better. Again, with that tiny head syndrome, it's ugly. I don't like it. This next one got bad. One thing, this wasn't like my big thing back then, but I've definitely become this person. There were like multiple rock stars that I'd be like, I would hit that if I had the opportunity. Candidly speaking. And I guess this was just me saying that in a roundabout sort of way. It features Mickey Dolenz, that's actually a good drawing. Denny Lane, that's not a good drawing. He was in Wings, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And Stuart Copeland of the Police, who is super adorable, still to this day, super adorable. So, it says My Three Valentines. It's really cringe. But, like, can we just appreciate how I actually fucking drew him looking good? Like, come on. What was this supposed to be? I gotta squint because it's super tiny. It's supposed to be Denny Lane. There's really nothing special about it except that it's not awful, I guess. It's just tiny. I can't see it. I'm old and blind now. Oh, this was the thing that I thought was going to be cute, and then I totally gave up after, like, a handful of drawings. But I drew the monkeys as cats, so that's a thing that happened for some reason. Here's another one. I guess I did it on Mike and Davey's birthday, so it's them. Get it? Because, like, Davey's tiny. Yeah. I almost gagged. Oh, God. I'm just gonna... We're gonna pretend I didn't have that super hippie phase. Oh, this one I was actually really proud of, too. I thought it was super cute. I was trying to draw like John and Yoko, but not John and Yoko, if you get my drift. I thought it would be cute, okay? I put effort in. It's maybe not the worst thing I've ever drawn, but it could be the tiniest thing I've ever drawn. Like, for reference, next to my finger. Okay? Okay? Super tiny. And it also had that thing where I would totally warp the paper and just absolutely ruin literally everything. I don't know if this was inspired by something I was doing in school or I just got bored and wanted to draw them in a fun situation, but I don't know. Something fucking monkeys related. It's really cringe and it's really late. So, yeah. Oh, this was a drawing from my cousin. I'm not gonna show that because I didn't draw it. I almost think that blonde girl could be Linda McCartney, but I don't know who the other guy could be then. I don't know. I've probably long since deleted that. I have no idea. This was supposed to be a comic and I didn't laugh at it. You don't really need to see how lack of effort it is. And there's another one behind it. Oh wait, I think that was just me trying to draw and actually failing at it, so. Oh no, there's more in the back. Oh god. Yeah, it's not good. So, that's the end of that hot mess, and now we're going to move on to the sketchbooks. So, I believe this was the first one. Let me check. No, I didn't fill it to the end. This one I think I did fill to the end. Yes, okay, this was the first one. There was just like a stock artist photo on the cover. For some reason, that picture that I printed out was like perfect to put over top of it. And it's kind of iconic how bad that is. It was a good picture of him. But... Oh, we've already got a really bad pun. So, Wings. They had a song called Bluebird. And then I drew them as bluebirds. I don't know why. This was supposed to be emulating some fucking famous picture. This one, I thought I would draw something cute. Is not good. It was supposed to be something Easter. Is not good. This isn't good. I don't know why I did that. I tried to do this as a group photo, I guess. This is... Objectively, this is an improvement over the group photo from earlier, where we're actually kind of posing together. Yeah, I guess sometimes I was like, oh, what if I lived with the monkeys? And then other times I was like, oh, what if I actually was one of the monkeys? But like, low-key, if I had wormed my way into those auditions, I kind of would have been breaking ground by having it be a mixed group. So, I'm trying not to shit on myself too hard, but can you blame me for wanting to shit on myself very hard? Oh, this one is extra bad. Those are music notes forming the heart. I hate that a lot. I hate this one a lot, and I don't know why we're orange. We're like yellow. I don't like that. The background colors were kind of cool, though. Oh, this is extra bad. Now we're getting into this very long phase in my art where it wasn't good, but it wasn't like, aw, she's a little kid trying bad. It was just bad. And my fanfiction did that for a long time, too. Yeah, it's just bad. What was my fascination with trying to draw pictures like this? I don't get it. Like, I couldn't do it. I should have just gave up the first time. I love how poorly off-center this is. And also how tiny. Look at all that negative space, okay? If I was an art teacher, that would be an F-. Oh my god, again with the fucking tiny drawings. I mean, it's kind of cute, but like... I mean, how many drawings like that can you make? The good news is there aren't many sheets in either of these. I think this was supposed to be our fucking kids. Yeah, that was a thing. I think this was based off of Randy Scouse skit, and you can tell because of the yellow dress. I'm just really disgusted at how bad these were. Like, all of the shock is wearing off, and now it's just, I want this to end right now. This one is easily the worst quality drawing ever. Like, out of the whole bunch that I've seen tonight, this is, like, maybe the worst drawing. Yeah. It's just ugly. That and the comic. I'm certain you really can't see that on camera, but the comic was really bad. This one's really obnoxiously bad. This is so cringe. There's a reason why I haven't looked at these in a long time. I think this is based off of a song. And now we begin the phase where all of my drawings are like, oh, it would be cute if we were like in this scenario, and then this scenario, and then it gets bad. I mean, that could basically describe all of my drawings, so I really have nothing to say about that. I have nothing to say about most of these. Oh, fun fact. This was around the time that I was in like 8th grade-ish, and that year, the whole 8th grade class, it was like an annual thing where we went to Washington, D.C. for like the big trip. And I guess I drew this because of that. I don't know, it's not good. Just said greetings from D.C. That was like around the time when this was getting like really amped up. And then like a couple weeks after that is when everything got taken away. And then I never saw that stuff until last summer. Oh yeah, this was getting into March. And by the way, I have to give myself some credit during this time because I have never been able to match the amount of shit that I put out, the amount of stuff that I was drawing, the amount of stuff that I was writing. Like, that's literally all I was doing. And I did so much of it in a really short time frame. Like, it's kind of insane. Like, I gotta give myself some credit. It's not good, but I don't know why I did that. I don't like it. I don't like any of this. It got worse. Why am I a wizard? I don't know. I want to time travel and beat myself to death, and then travel back in time to fuck Eric Carr, and then travel back in time to fuck Duncan Ford. You get it. I'd probably save John Lennon too. I don't know. We got some lions, and the one lion has a Beatle haircut. Oh good, that's the end of this one. So, one more sketchbook to go, and it's not finished. I didn't get the chance to finish it, but we're not going to dwell on that. We are going to dwell on the fact that I'm almost done. Oh god, this is going to be an hour long. I am so sorry to do this to you guys, I really am. This is just not the worst, but it's not good. This got significantly worse. I mean, the effort is there. You can tell that I wanted to make this a good drawing. Like, if you look at it closely, like, I tried. Conceptually, it was like, what? I clearly didn't try with this one. We're not going to look at that one up close. I think I put more effort into the background of this than anything else. And that's not saying much. Here again, very low effort. This is all very low effort. And I fucking colored this stuff. Like, I put effort into, like, tracing things and, like, it's not good. It's not good. Oh, this is not getting better at all. I'm just gonna try and go through these quickly. A, because I don't want anyone looking at these for a significant amount of time. I don't even want to look at these for a significant amount of time. And B, I have literally been sitting here for an hour. Also, if the camera moves, Sammy is right behind it looking like he might jump or something. Or no, he's sitting down. Oh, he just rubbed his head on my laptop. This was not drawn well. Even Sammy's judging me, like he can see. Let me show you guys. This is what I see. And of course he's not looking at me now, because he don't want to make eye contact. But, yeah, you're staring me down, mister. Yeah, he doesn't want to be involved. So, hopefully I'm near the end. It doesn't get better. I'm just exhausted from all this badness. Oh, there's a back to this. I don't know if that was a part 1 or part 2. I think it was part 2. This was trying to be cute, but it's not. It's really not. This is not good. I don't know why I did this. I put some effort into my dress on this one. Other than that, oh, this was based on something I wrote where I was like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if he was a vampire? So that's why I literally didn't color in his skin. It's so bad. And then I turned into a vampire. That happened in the writing. Yeah. It looks bad, because it is bad. Boring. More fucking Valentine's shit. I mean, this is just same shit, different day, I guess. I should be looking at the dates on each of these, because that'll tell me like which ones I did on the same day. Because there were nights when I could crank out a couple of these. I mean, I guess when it's like really shitty, lack of effort, like then you can crank out a bunch at a time. But I hate hippies. I really do. And I say that coming from a perspective of someone that used to be one. But I wasn't just a hippie. I was a pretentious hippie. And I really hate that I was. I really hate this too. I hope my laptop isn't focusing on these when I open them up. This one, I put effort into the coloring of it. Anything else, not so much. I mean, the color doesn't show up well on camera, but none of this should show up on camera. Oh, I didn't get to color this one in. Did I? I did color in other things from this, so. But this was getting very close to the time when, like, everything ended, because it ended in April, and this was in April. That's not good. It's really cringe, actually. I don't want to show this next one. So, we're just gonna move forward. Ooh, this one's not finished. Ooh. It's not finished. I didn't even write a date on that. And that's it. What was the date of the last one? I really fucking hate the last one. Like, of all the last hurrahs to end on, French Maid. The 2nd of April. That was a lot of awful. And I'm exhausted now. I'm gonna sleep like a baby, rethink a lot of major life decisions, and edit this thing down somehow. I don't want to put up an hour-long video, but I don't know how I can break this up into 2. Because I want to keep everything in the video. So, I had fun with this. I mean, it doesn't seem like I had fun, but I kind of did. It was really stupid. And I'd like to do more videos, like, reading out the cringe, which, judging by how reluctant I was to show some of these today, I don't know how that's gonna go down. Probably like a Led Zeppelin. But, yeah, that happened.